And I spelled heck with a K because it is bonkers that we think that anybody is perfect and knows what the heck that they are doing in life. Good morning, my loves. Today I wanted to talk about 5 mindset shifts that can help create your dream life and why developing positive thinking habits and making these mindset shifts can help you to achieve any goal that you have set for yourself. The experiences that we live through in our lives stem from our thoughts. And when we think those particular thoughts consistently, those tend to develop into beliefs of ourselves and the world around us. And then those beliefs play a large role in the way that we take action and the way that we react to situations. If you truly want to achieve your goals in life and create your dream life and make it a reality, you need to start developing new positive mindset habits and changing your thought patterns and breaking down your limiting beliefs. And going into our first mindset shift. Failure does not mean defeat. I used to see failure as this big scary thing that you should be ashamed of ever encountering. And it kept me feeling small rather than feeling expansive. But when I started my personal development journey, I started to change the way that I thought and perceived failure and the way that I speak about it. I started to see failure as a growing experience rather than a hindrance to my success. I mean, without moving forward because of the possibility of failure, how can you ever expect to even achieve success in your life? And I swear I've heard this saying a million times over that you can't have success without failure, and it never really clicked though. I never really got the meaning of it. Yes, I understood what it meant, but I never actually implemented it into my own life. But when I finally started understanding what that really meant for me, I was able to make that mindset shift and to work towards changing my thought patterns. And I started to understand that the fear of failure really does come from us being worried about how other people will perceive our failure, and that we're scared of being uncomfortable. I mean, who likes change? Nobody does. Nobody actually likes the process of changing because it does get you out of your comfort zone. And going back to that thought where we're so scared of what other people would say about us, it's because we base our success on somebody else's definition of success. And that's comparing apples to bananas. So here's a way that you can start to incorporate this mindset shift. Understand that everybody defines success differently and it's subjective. And then take the time to define what success really looks like in your life, and then write it down so that you can see it with your very own eyes and you're taking the thought of it onto paper so it's more tangible. Is it having 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, for instance? Is it having financial security for the first time in your life? Is it having a house? Is it having a big family to love? Define what it means to you in all facets of your life and then make small steps to achieve it. Plan out your days, plan out your weeks, plan out your months, whatever planning method that works best for you. Just remember, it doesn't have to be these big leaps every time. It can be small steps. And eventually those small steps will build and they'll build, and you will eventually be able to tick off your boxes. It really bugs me how we base our life decisions and actions on the way that other people will approve them or disapprove them. I was notorious for this. I also dealt with a lot of social anxiety and anxiety in my life, and I struggled with trying to understand who I was as a person and who I truly wanted to be. And I actually talk about my story of coping with anxiety in another video. If you would like to see that, I will add it to the I button that'll pop up right here, and you can go take a look at that after this video. So another way to get out of this failure is defeat mindset is to ask yourself these following questions. What if you succeed? What if you do achieve your goals and it's better than you could have ever imagined it? Hold on to that feeling and make that your reason for moving forward anyways, because it's a good enough reason. Stop worrying about the failure. Start getting excited for the success. Going into the second mindset shift, which is fear is a liar. Fear is a compulsive liar. It is terrible. It is toxic. It is not something that you want at your dinner table. It is something that you want far away and to ignore and to push off and never see again. Fear is a liar. It's an over-exaggerated thought. And fear is something that takes away your power when you let it overwhelm you. We get in our heads and we overthink these events, and that leads us to imagine the worst case possible scenario happening to us, when in reality it probably will never happen to you, or you maybe have experienced it and that's why these traumatizing feelings are coming up. But that doesn't mean that it's going to happen again. That means that you could have learned from that situation and produced a different result. I need to set this down because I'm about to get coffee all over my shirt. I used to be somebody that was always terrified of presenting in front of a group of people. And a big turning point for me was when I had to present in front of my company about my goals for the following year. I remember I was so tired of feeling belittled by my thoughts and my fear just crippling me and making it hard to think clearly and to get ready for presenting. It made me feel like I didn't have the skill set. It made me feel like I wasn't worthy of speaking my truth and my opinions. It made me feel like I wasn't worthy of presenting my ideas because I'm younger than everybody else in my company. It got me so worked up and I was so annoyed with this fear just overwhelming my entire body that I decided right then and there that I am not going to let this affect me. I'm not going to let this stop me from presenting my ideas because I really truly stood behind them and I knew they would be good for the company. It was my zone of genius. So before presenting, I held on to the thought that this is my zone of genius. This is my department. This is what I know is going to work. I have gained praise time and time again over the work that I've produced. I know that my company values me as an employee. And then slowly but surely, the pounding in my ears and the pounding in my chest started to subside and it started to slow down, and it allowed me to breathe. It allowed me to think clearly and to jump into presenting. It was the best feeling to finally take a stand to the fear that was overwhelming me and the anxiety that was coming up, and to basically just push it to the side. So the moral of the story is, when you do feel that fear overtaking you and your thoughts, push aside the thoughts that say that you shouldn't start your YouTube channel, you shouldn't present your work to the world, your artwork, you shouldn't go and try to ask for that promotion, whatever it is, and question them. Is it really going to turn out as the worst possible scenario that you are imagining? Is that actually going to happen? When has that ever happened in your past? If it has happened, is there a possibility of it happening again? Or have you learned from that situation? And can you take that chance now to finally prove to yourself that you can produce a different outcome? Even if you do flop a little and you are worried about other people and what they're saying about you, just remember, most people are so busy in their own lives, they're going to forget the situation that happened and that you messed up in about 10 minutes. So stop letting fear of maybe something happening to you stop you from living your life and making small steps towards your goals. Going into mindset shift number 3. Nobody knows what the heck they're doing. And I spelled heck with a K because it is bonkers that we think that anybody is perfect and knows what the heck that they are doing in life. No one knows what their future is going to look like. Nobody knows if the action that they take today will result in exactly what they want. Nobody knows what is going on. We can all just do the best that we can every single day to create the dream life that we want. Even if you do become a successful millionaire and you get every single thing that you wanted in life, your challenges and goals are always going to evolve and change as you experience more and more things. Life is meant to be exciting. It's not meant to be static. It's not meant to stay the same. It's meant to constantly evolve and teach us and keep us on our toes. And we should enjoy that process of life unfolding, because the more contrasting events that we experience, the more desires that we have and that we start to bring and manifest into our lives. No one that is successful today started out knowing exactly what they needed to do to get to where they are now. It's about trial and error, going through life, being okay with failure, being okay with defining what success looks like for you and your ultimate happiness and what's going to bring you most joy. And they understand that eventually, with the actions that they are taking, they will get there, so they don't give up. They trust that the effort and the work that they are putting into it today will result in some sort of definition of success later on. To help make the mindset shift for you to be okay with not knowing what's going on is to work on understanding that you are the creator of your own life. You have control over a couple of things, and that is what you do with your time, the thoughts that you have, and how you react and take actions to situations. Just because somebody else's life looks perfect from the outside in doesn't mean that they knew from day one exactly how to get there and what they were doing. They just worked hard, they kept going, they didn't give up, and take comfort in knowing that they probably still don't know what the heck they are doing. This mindset shift is so important in my opinion, and I think it could make a huge difference in so many people's lives right now. If you can really try to tackle one of the mindset shifts that I talk about today, it should be this one. And that is replacing jealousy with excitement. So many of us are comparing our chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 10. And it's become so easy to put ourselves down, and that's because of the internet and social media. I'm not saying it's the worst thing in the world. I actually really love social media. I wouldn't be able to be here with you guys today talking like this if social media wasn't around and the internet wasn't around, of course. And there's so much good that comes out of it. But what I'm saying, with everything that's going on, it can be so easy to get caught up in comparing ourselves as early as right when we wake up in the day. And it can be consistent, and it can really tear us apart over the long run. This is something that I struggled with on and off for so many years. I always dreamt of starting a YouTube channel and a platform where I can really help people understand their worth and bring some sort of positive value to the world. I would compare myself to people like Sarah's Day, who has been working on her channel and brand for so long and has put in the work. And it's so silly to look back on it and think about how I was comparing my life to hers when she, like I said before, had put in so many years of work, and I had just given up on my first YouTube channel. So a while back, I was listening to this podcast called The Influencer Podcast by Julie Solomon, and I can't remember exactly what episode it was, but it sparked this thought that instead of being jealous and having these negative feelings about yourself, you can take the person that you're admiring and see it as proof that it is attainable for you too. See that it is possible to get there, and see that your dreams are attainable because this person did achieve it, and be proud of them and be excited for them, and then be excited for yourself. And that's what I meant by replacing jealousy with excitement, because that means it is possible. And when I started to make that mindset shift, which I highly recommend doing, is the world starts to seem a little bit more abundant to you. It seems to be more resourceful, and you start to get more work done because you were excited to get there, knowing that it is possible. And now for the last mindset shift, number 5. And that is to simply, well, not simply, but trust that your actions will get you there. Just because your dreams have not come to fruition yet does not mean that they will not ever come to fruition. In the book that I'm reading, which I'm sure you've heard of, it's Ask and It Is Given by Esther and Jerry Hicks, which is an incredible book, by the way, and I highly recommend it. Abraham gives this example of somebody living in Phoenix but wanting to live in San Diego. Basically, if you're living in Phoenix but you want to live in San Diego and get there, you can trust that if you start to walk in the direction of San Diego, or you're taking a plane in the direction of San Diego or driving towards it, you can expect yourself to eventually get to San Diego. You may have to ask somebody for directions, you may have to pull up a map, but you can trust that you will get there. And then you don't go halfway to San Diego and then go back to Phoenix. You don't go, back and forth, always contemplating on if you're ever going to get there. You trust that if you keep moving towards the direction of San Diego, you will eventually get there. And this is so simple, but that's why I love it so much. This analogy really hit it on the head. And you should trust that if you take those small actions every single day, or maybe not even every single day, but every single week, you will eventually get to your end goal. You will eventually be able to tick off your box, and you need to work on trusting that it is coming to you and stop going halfway and coming back. Keep moving forward. I really hope you guys enjoyed these 5 mindset shifts to create your dream life and to help you finally achieve any goal that you have set for yourself. If you did like this video, I do highly recommend another one that I created a little bit ago, and that is how to be more happy and live your life to the fullest. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up. It really supports me, and I am so excited for the next video, you guys.